Crunch Time, brought to you by Crunch Fitness, with memberships as low as $9.99 per month. Find your Crunch Time in Portland, Vancouver, and online at crunch.com.
Hey, Crunch Time brought to you by Crunch Fitness. Memberships as low as $9.99 per month. Find your Crunch Time in Portland, Vancouver, or online at crunch.com. Got a lot to get to in the final hour of the show. We'll get to the roast of Tom Brady. Thomas Brady was roasted yesterday. Not by your morning roasters, Dirt and Sprague, although we could roast him if we would like. But we have clips for you for the final hour of the show.
If you did a roast, do you think you'd come up with enough funny material
No.
for no?
No, I don't think so.
Oh.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I would have I don't know if I would be good at getting roasted or being the roastee.
Oh, I'd be pretty good
if we
getting
had a
roasted.
fan roast.
You think you would be good getting roasted?
Yeah, you could say anything about me, and
Nothing
it can't
would
be
hurt your
worse than
feelings?
what I already think about myself. Therapy Tuesdays tomorrow. Buckle up, bitch.
It's funny because you watch the roast and there's some that you hear and you're like, "Ooh, that one, was serious." Like there was something behind that. Some of them are just like funny around the edges, like, haha, we all kind of laugh at it, whatever. And then there's some that feel very, very personal. And those would be the ones that I would have a hard time with. We'll get to that though coming up in the final hour. You and I talk a lot of Blazers on this show. Even though I don't watch the team. I'm basketball dirt, so I'm plugged into what's going on.
I'm about to be non-Blazer viewing Sprague because
Me too.
I'm getting YouTube.
Yeah, I don't have Root anymore. I'll do StreamYard maybe for a game or two here or there. Let's be honest. No, I won't. But I digress. Let's talk about their weekend. So
You mean Stream East.
Stream East. Sorry. What did I say?
Go to StreamYard. You won't be watching anything.
No, you won't. Unless somebody wants to put a StreamYard camera up and show us the games. One of the criticisms that I have, on top of just the general incompetence of the organization and not trusting anybody in charge, is what's the vision? What's the plan? What's the direction? A lot of that would be alleviated by the owner, I don't know, speaking words publicly, but, we're not going to get that anytime soon. I was again left kind of asking that question this weekend. So they originally, I want to say about a week ago, they lost, Steve Hetzel to the Nets, one of their top assistants who had a very good track record, everybody respected. He goes to Brooklyn. Okay, we lose an assistant coach.
His best friend became the head coach.
Which is the main reason why he took the job. Then over the weekend, I think Heiken was the first person that reported this.
I was the Oregonian.
Oregonian, okay.
Fentress
had it first. The Blazers did not renew the contracts of Scott Brooks or Rodney Billups.
You sure that's Rodney, not Chauncey?
It's Rodney Billups.
Okay.
Which if I'm going to be honest with you, full transparency here.
Yeah.
My first reaction to that was, wait, his brother's on the coaching staff?
I was surprised you didn't know that.
And then I went to look up what is his pedigree that deserved to be on an NBA bench.
His last name.
He was the head coach at Denver for 5 years. Do you want to hear their win totals in the 5 years he was there?
Well, not the Nuggets.
The University of Denver.
Yeah.
16, 15, 8,
Juggernaut.
7, 2.
Wow, that is to watch that regression is unbelievably bad.
Conference wins 8, 3, 3, 1.
Yeah.
That was his track record that landed him a job in the NBA. So I'm glad he was on the staff. I kind of got the feeling Scott Brooks was the de facto head coach the last couple of years, but whatever. We're moving on from assistants and keeping the head coach. I again am just confused about the general direction and what we're doing here.
It's a restart on the bench. I mean, there's no other way to put it. You don't need to polish anything. It's just a simple fact of Chauncey and the organization are going a different direction. Losing Hetzel was, for most people that cover this team, Danny, Heiken, etc., a little bit of a blow for them. I know you can make the joke, they won 21 games. Is anything that you lose a blow? I know.
But like, this is going to fix your problems. It's not the head coach isn't the issue. It's the assistant coaches. They were the problem.
Well, I've been kind of sniffing around on this. They haven't had good press conferences.
No.
I think you could trace this back to when Chauncey was hired. I don't know what press conference you'd point at, but I don't know if they've had even one since the Chauncey water bottle press conference.
The good ones were the ones that it turned out the GM was lying when he told us what we wanted to hear as fans about going all in. We all praised those press conferences.
But that's why they're not good anymore, is
Yes.
because they didn't age well based on what we were hearing that they were going to do.
No.
And my real radar went up when I heard the coach, and certainly the end of the season may make a guy feel a certain way versus coming back to start a season. I expected to be a play-in playoff team. Your over-under was 26, 27?
Yeah.
How did you look at this? Everybody and their mom knew that team was going to suck.
Yep.
And He told himself that they were going to be a playoff team. He also admitted that he's taken real steps as an in-game coach because he struggled there.
So
That was kind of alarming to hear out loud.
just acknowledging the last 2 years of Dame, we've had a coach training on the sidelines. That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, it quite literally was. He had only been an assistant for 6 months prior to that. So he was controversial as a hire in general. He has 1 year remaining unless they pick up the option year for the season after. So right now, today, and let's be fair, it's May 6th, we sit with a guy going into a lame duck season. Terry went through that a couple times, got extended once, got fired after.
Mm-hmm.
It's not always a great thing when that happens. And then when you tell me the messaging from their organization is the coach saying they want to be a playoff team and take a step, to the general manager saying, we don't have a talent, we need to develop talent.
And we clearly know the team is tanking. Like this, they're literally tanking. That's what they're doing.
Yeah, I just
But the
think
coach says we can make the playoffs?
something smells a little funny and funky, and the press conference is paired with what kind of the situation is. Let's just see where it goes from here, because it's not great to say you got to restart your entire bench. It doesn't have to be the end-all, be-all, but they don't generally feel like they're kind of on the same pages publicly. Privately, maybe they are, but their messaging is kind of mixed. So I don't know, man. It's you hope that they can find the right guys. I think they may take some shots at guys who don't have as much experience.
That's great.
There's going to be some names floated around that maybe they can get them, some names we're familiar with, but I kind of had a conversation with somebody yesterday of like, why would that guy want to come here to be an assistant? It doesn't track with their experience versus how bad this thing's going to get worse.
Yeah.
And Chauncey's record is already in the dumps, so it's going to only get worse from here.
I mean, we all know he's going to be the head coach for one more season, and then they will move on because Jody will not fire him now. She's not going to pay out the rest of that deal. So he's going to coach this next year, whether that's fair or not, or rightful or not. That's what's going to happen. So you're going to hire an entire new bench for one season. The Blazers are going to be terrible next year. We all know that.
Well, they might pick up the option, so it could be we have 2 more seasons coming.
Okay, so we have 2 more years.
It's a team option.
They're going to win no more than 25 games next year.
They shouldn't if they cared about tanking.
If that's truly the direction that we're going.
Yeah.
You're not going to be good the next year. So what are we doing here? At some point, you're going to move on as head coach. You're not firing, but you're not renewing any of his assistant coaches as if this is going to change something. I don't know. To me, it's just another example of I don't know what the hell they're doing.
You're just hoping that you hit in the draft is kind of where we're at. To be honest with you, to answer all your questions, I think you bring up some fair things about and everything I just highlighted of the messaging and how it's being operated. You need to in the draft. Point blank, you got to hope Shaden becomes baby Kobe and Scoot looks better next year, and whoever you take this year is a somewhat competent guy, and maybe they take a swing on somebody that takes a year or two, which that's going to be a tough sell because we don't know if that's really ever going to happen. So,
remember people saying the Blazers haven't used a sound hiring process in a decade plus. Wow. Touche, buddy. Touche. Well, the Blazers had another banner weekend. Can't wait to watch other teams in the NBA playoffs tonight.
Well, how do you not watch the West, too? I said this to Danny on the pod, and we did a Jack Ramsey's yesterday. I don't know how you don't watch these Western Conference series and these teams, and the league is a 2-year out league at most.
Yeah.
But this kind of generation of young talent, the SGAs, the Lucas, the Ant Edwards, they're all in their 20s. You're not hearing noise about, like, he's unhappy. They could be looking to get out of there soon.
Just from
it's
the
a
talking
small
heads
market.
you hear it from, not from the players themselves.
No, there's no read on that. So, like, if these guys are a different breed where they're back to the 90s, some of the basketball is going back to the 90s. If this goes back to, I'm here for 6, 7, 8 years.
Jokic, Wemby, good luck.
You're going to be the worst team in the West next year, and it's not going to look all that much better unless Scoot and Shaden take some massive leap for you in 2 years.